What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Judas and the Black Messiah, the newest film from director Shaka King. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like the video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as comment below on any video that you watch, including this one. So Judas and the Black Messiah is based on a true story. It's set during the late 60s, early 70s, and it's about an individual named Fred Hampton, who's played by Daniel Kaluuya, who actually rose in the ranks of the Black Panther Party, and in the process, he started to gain the notoriety from J. Edgar Hoover, who's played by Martin Sheen, and so the FBI, who at the time considered the Black Panther Party, as well as the KKK, as a terrorist group. It's very prescient in today's world with everything that's going on. And so basically what happens is we have a character named William O'Neill, or Bill O'Neill, who's played by Lakeith Stanfield, and he basically steals cars, and he makes it well known that he claims to be part of the FBI and stuff like that. And he gets arrested, and he's put under the guise of a guy named Roy Mitchell, who of course is played by Jesse Plemons. And in essence, similar to something like The Departed, he goes undercover to basically take down Fred Hampton, who they think is a terrorist, who they think he's going to cause a lot of problems for America, because, you know, the late 60s, the 60s and 70s were very much a very segregated world, white and black situation. What ends up happening is very similar to, you know, the Judas and Jesus Christ situation. He ends up basically selling out Fred Hampton, who ends up, you know, in real life getting shot and killed, and becomes a revolutionary. His son ends up, you know, becoming the party leader and so on and so forth. And in essence, this 2 hour and 10-minute movie is the story of what Bill O'Neill did and how Fred Hampton became more than what he was when he was alive. And of course, the nature of like the cops and stuff like that, and the segregation, everything that, you know, was the 60s and 70s for black culture. And so with that said, this is a movie that has had a couple trailers released. It's a movie that's been getting a lot of buzz, especially for Daniel Kaluuya's performance, and has had some screenings, and of course premiered at Sundance Film Festival and has gotten rave reviews. It's in line for Oscar consideration and stuff like that. It's a movie that is very much speaking to today's society, speaking to, you know, everything that happened in 2020, to, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. And it's a movie in its nutshell is very much in the essence of things have not changed. Things are seeming to stay the same, and until we effectively make change, people like Fred Hampton are going to be murdered and going to be killed for their beliefs, and they're, you know, trying to help the black culture. And in essence, he was trying to build a hospital. He was a guy that was very outspoken. He was a guy like Martin Luther King. It's one of those movies like BlacKkKlansman, or, you know, the Small Axe films, or Detroit, where it truly shows you the nature of how things just truly are a terrible situation when it comes to certain minorities and races, and it's very, very much a sad thing. But this movie, like BlacKkKlansman, has been getting a lot of buzz for, you know, the acting and the, you know, the directing and the movie itself. And so after watching this movie, I 100% agree. This movie is fantastic. It's one of the best movies of the year. It's a movie that is powerful in what it's trying to do. Daniel Kaluuya, once again, is given a very understated, very emotional performance. He's a guy that just has so much charisma in what he does, so much passion in what he does. You know, everything about him just resonates A-list talent, and he just really envelops the character of Fred Hampton and what Fred Hampton dealt with and what he believed, and just he throws it all out there on the screen to, you know, show how good of a, you know, an actor Daniel Kaluuya really is. And it's just such a powerful performance that it just really resonates. And then we have Lakeith Stanfield, who is giving, you know, an underrated performance. Lakeith Stanfield is one of those actors that has done so much great work in the last few years. You know, we really started to really know him in Get Out, which is ironic because him, Daniel Kaluuya, and Lil Ray Howery, who's in this movie, were all in Get Out, so this is like a small mini reunion. But it's such a understated performance because it's a guy who's very much a Judas, who sells out his own, you know, beliefs and sells out his party and his people for money, basically. You know, at the end of this movie, he gets money in a gas station. It's really just kind of a depressing thing to watch. And, you know, up until the day he died, it ate him alive. It was something that it truly transformed him into for the worst. And it was something out of his control, but he never kind of stood up for himself. And, you know, it really shows as this movie plays along as he tries to hide and squirm away like a rat. And, you know, it's a very sad thing to see, but Lakeith Stanfield knocks it out of the park, and he's just not going to get the love that Daniel Kaluuya Kaluuya has, because Daniel Kaluuya is just knocking everything out of the park. He's just such a good actor that his transformation into this character is just, it's a sight to behold. And, you know, ever since Get Out, when he truly kind of came into his own, and then you look at Widows, which was a very underrated performance, it just, there's something magnetic about what Daniel Kaluuya is and who he is and how he, you know, portrays himself, and how, like, how he feels about his characters, and, you know, dealing with the very sad and uncomfortable nature of racism and so on and so forth. So, you know, like I said, I give so much credit to Daniel Kaluuya, but I have to give credit to Lakeith Stanfield as well for just a very understated performance. And Jesse Plemons, who plays the FBI agent, the one that's kind of in charge of Lakeith Stanfield, he is a character that you kind of feel for in the beginning, but you realize as the movie moves along, his purpose is more just to gain power, rise in the ranks of becoming a, you know, bigger FBI director or something like that. And his talk with the with J. Edgar Hoover's played by Martin Sheen is one of sadness, but one of just like, you're just going to let everything fall by the wayside because your inability to be a human being. And that's what Jesse Plemons plays in this movie, a guy that just goes by the books, and it basically shows as Lakeith Stanfield's at like the end of his rope, and he's like, give us the information. If you don't, we're gonna tell who the people who, you know, in the Black Panther Party, who you are and what you are. So it's pretty crazy stuff. And then you have Dominique Fishback, who plays Deborah Johnson, and Deborah Johnson was of course Fred Hampton's girl. She ended up having his kid, and as small as her role is in this movie, it's very important in essence to humanize who Fred Hampton was, because Fred Hampton was a very, like I said, outspoken individual, but underneath he was a very passionate person who was trying to build a hospital, a medical center to help his fellow African-American individuals. And to watch her character kind of, you know, slowly play into the role of her, you know, of her, like his fiance or whatever, to see her kind of, you know, have to deal with the situation when there's shootouts and stuff like that. You know, it may not be the most stated performance, but it's a very powerful performance in what she's trying to do. And I liked everything about her character. So she's really, Dominique Fishback does a really nice job in this movie as the girlfriend to Fred Hampton. So, and I have to give a lot of credit to somebody like Shaka King for directing a very brutally honest movie. This movie holds nothing back in what it's trying to say, holds nothing back in what it's trying to do, and it gives everything and anything, all blood, sweat, and tears, into a movie that really shows you the true nature of how bad it was for Black individuals in the 60s and 70s, and how, like I said, even how it mirrors today with everything like the Black Lives Matter movement. So what Shaka King is doing here is something of a godsend, because it's just a fantastic viewing movie. It's a fantastic world, and it just really shows you the true nature and the harrowing nature of everything they had to deal with. And, you know, when a movie like this comes out, you know, usually it's Spike Lee directing the movie, but when somebody else does it, it's nice to see, because it gives different perspectives and different looks and feels into a world that, you know, as somebody who's a white individual doesn't have to worry about, because, you know, I have, you know, a lot of safeties and stuff like that. But just to watch a world like this and watch what they have to go through, it's a very, very hard thing to watch, and it's a very important thing to watch. And, you know, it's a movie that, you know, like I said, it hangs its heart on its sleeve, and, you know, is brutally honest with what it's trying to do. And it's a great movie. It really is. It's a very powerful movie. The characters that are part of the Black Panther Party are very well rounded and very, you know, three-dimensional as they play out, and you see their main motivations and reasoning for behind what they do, the anger behind their eyes, and the not necessarily hatred, but just the angst and anger of the fact that they are put in this situation to begin with, because, you know, every human being should be equal in some form or fashion, and it's just not how the world works, and it sucks. It really does. So, but that's it. That's going to be my take on this movie, Judas and the Black Messiah. Like I said, it's a well done, well crafted movie. Also has great music, has some fantastic music and score in it, which is, you know, not surprising. It has, you know, jazz and blues and just some great piano work in it too. So, but that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below when you eventually see this movie, or if you have any interest in seeing this movie. What do you think of the movie? Did it hit you as hard as it did me when it comes to the material and everything that's presenting? Is it something that you recommend to other people, and so on and so forth? But anyways, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.